My next panel, welcome to Henrik. He's back again from Kindred Group. We have Patrik here from the Swedish state-owned company Svenska Spel. And next to you is Pontus from Betsson, also an operator. And on link we have two gentlemen, Johan, who represents Play and Go, the supplier, he's on the left. And on the right we have Esben from Better Collective. Very much welcome, gentlemen. Have you followed the conference from the start? You smile, so I presume that's a yes. Anyway,
testing, yeah, we did.
Great. Actually, my goal was to discuss the poll answer, but we see that people are very optimistic. Everybody believes that it's possible to do this, both with the sustainability in mind and be profitable. But I was also wondering, how can you comment the things that Martin talked about? He said, the thing we can do is to share data. Is that possible? Patrik?
That is complicated if you don't anonymize the data, so that is complicated. But I think he said something else as well, that, which I think is important. Don't point a finger on someone else like the regulator, etc. Look at ourselves, and see what we can do. And here we have a good opportunity to share information. For example, we have invested in research in Sweden since 2010, 6.5 million euros. We can share that information if we do that, so we can spread it throughout the industry, so we can use the information to build our product and services, to include it. And I think that is something, share information, and also that I think...
But do you share that information with your colleagues?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We have an open view on that one, so we share that openly to all to take part with that one. Then I think also the common goals is something we should agree on in the industry, and to be more transparent as well on the most important KPIs for our sector. I think if we can find this information and share the common goals and KPIs, the most important KPIs, then I think we have a good way of go. Then I think it's given that profitability and sustainability, they connect together.
Pontus, do you agree, or are we forgetting something from your point of view? I mean, Patrik talks from a state-owned company.
Yeah.
With you, it's a bit different. So, do you have any added information?
Yeah, I agree on most of the things, but I think we actually should not point finger towards the regulator, but we need to talk to the regulators and the politicians and educate them, because we've been doing this for many years, and this industry is quite new to the regulators.
This is interesting. You want to educate them. I will tell them that when we talk to them later on.
Yeah, let's hope they're open to that. But we see sometimes pieces of regulation that really doesn't work in the sustainable way. And that's maybe because of lack of understanding. And in that regard, I think we can contribute a lot to the politicians.
I would like to ask the gentleman on link here and start with Johan. I mean, how can you add value to this? I mean, you have a responsibility when you create all this entertainment on the internet. Your reflections on that. How can you add to this context?
I mean, we believe we absolutely have a duty to care to the players, and I think all suppliers should share our view on that. I mean, you can see it in the type of games we create, and especially in the type of games we don't create. We could make pretty much any game we wanted with any mechanic or feature, but we chose to focus on the entertainment, the fun, the quality. That's in our DNA. And as an example, I mean, you won't see Play Go release a game where you can buy into a bonus round, for example. We know we're turning down revenue with that, and our approach to things like that. And one could say we're fortunate to kind of be in a position to make that decision. But I mean, to be honest, we should, as an industry, always take decisions towards that direction. I mean, those games, making sure that the games are good for the players, not too aggressive, etc.
But Johan, what do you think about age limits and harmful gambling, for example?
Yes, I mean in terms of all the regulations and we truly support that. I think everything around it should be very well regulated, making sure that we as suppliers can really focus on entertainment. That's my view of it.
What role does Better Collective have in this? What is your definition of a safe experience, and how do you work with that?
Well, I guess, first of all, I can just build on the story which is already evolving here, and we do believe that the industries play a more active role. And the interesting bit about Better Collective and us as an affiliate is that many users visit us before they visit the operators and sign up and acquire an account. So by default, we play a very, very important role in ensuring channelization to the licensed operators in the market. And we also play an extremely important role in educating players across our platforms, and we do make quite an effort there in having gambling academies advice on how to control your own betting, keeping accounts across different podcasts. We often have discussions around ways to play responsibly. So in terms of educating the players, we do play quite a big part there. Surely we're not perfect, but we're trying, and we're very committed to this agenda. It does really constitute what our key contribution is to a healthy industry development.
Martin talked about, and I heard that before, that it's important to cooperate between operators, suppliers, affiliates. Is there today cooperation enough? I mean, what could you, and I'm talking from your own perspective, what could more be done?
Yeah, I think this can be improved. I think we made good progress, but I think it can be even better, and that's good to hear. Both Play and Go and Better Collective being part of this panel is a good start in that sense. But I think we have much to gain from that, and of course predictability, clarity and transparency and certainty is what we all need, and that is what's so desperately needed to take this forward and really improve on sustainability as well. That we have common definitions. We talked about KPIs and everything, that we can also instill confidence in the customers and the consumers and also regulators now that everyone knows what we're talking about.
But how does cooperation start? Does it start by one person is calling the other one? Or how? I mean, we talk about cooperation all the time, but it can be better, you say. So what's needed? A phone call or an email?
Transparency, I think, is key, and also what we see now that it is, as you say here, we are commonly agreeing that being profitable is, you'd have to take sustainability at the core of your business to be profitable long term. I think that's where it starts, and then that becomes clear, and then people can move forward in that direction. I think but then dialogue, of course, like forums like today with this one is a good start, and then, but as you said as well, this is not just here today once a year. It needs to start, and I'm cautiously optimistic. We've seen good improvements over the last couple of years, and us sitting here together as operators, both state-owned companies, private companies, we have suppliers and affiliates on the panel as well. I think that's a good start to really thrive that ecosystem.
The other question I wanted to put, maybe that's you already answered it, but still I can give that to Patrik. Which questions are the most critical to collaborate on? What would you prioritize?
Well, I think first, but I just want to comment on Henrik's to build on that one. I think the market or the industry as such is more mature today, which is easier to discuss than it was maybe a couple of years ago. So I think the timing is good now that we actually start to cooperate across the industry to share knowledge and experience. I think the timing is really, really good. Then look at our industry. The reputation is very low. So is there something that we need to work on is to get up the reputation as such, because there are different views that are not so positive about this industry. And I think share that information and how we can protect the customer is probably the most key important part. So customer protection is the most important part of our sustainability agenda, I think, across the industry. So if we can share more information there, use research, use our own experience, share, the knowledge, see how can we develop tools that be even better. And I think the timing is actually really good on that one now. It was not as easy in the past, but now it's more mature to take those discussions.
Pontus, how do you work with reputation?
Yeah, we build better tools for every year for safer gambling. We try to inform the public about what we do. It's a massive part of our annual report nowadays. We try to communicate more what we do as a company for safer gambling. But it's hard. We start from a very bad spot in this industry.
Johan and Better Collective. Sorry, I forgot your... Esben, any comments on this? How can you improve? You mentioned something before, but how can you collaborate with operators to even more succeed in the common goal here?
I mean, for me, as a supplier, we have just a small part of the information. If we're looking to the 360 view of the player, we see a little, really tiny bit of the player and the complete kind of a gambling experience. So from our perspective, we really just need to continue focusing on the entertainment value, making sure that we create games that are, interesting and fun to play and entertaining, safe. You need to be safe when you engage with the products that we create. So it's it's kind of tough depending on the how we can collaborate, because if we get into information sharing between us, it's really complicated. GDPR, etc. It makes it complicated.
But are you waiting for calls from the operators, or will you give them a call?
I think we should all give each other a call, right? I think it's important that we stand up and talk about this. We shouldn't be afraid about that. Speaking to other, suppliers or operators, there's definitely an idea in getting this more often on the table, so to speak.
Esben, a few words from you as well.
Yeah, I share the point on the GDPR issues, and just a very concrete example of us as an affiliate not being able to access self-exclusion databases. So in the worst of worlds, we could be sending tips to somebody who just excluded themselves from betting a year ahead. It's GDPR related, and certainly an issue for us as well. In January this year, however, we did make a move in this direction of a greater collaboration, where we invested in or made a larger investment in Mindway AI, which develops software to detect problem gambling, and also self-tests, where you have small little games that we can put on our sites so that people can actually test their betting behavior and figure out whether they have a propensity towards problem gambling. And it does come with a bit of advice on how people should act and take good care of themselves.
Yes, thank you. Patrik has waved here. We always tend to blame it on something.
We should not blame anything, and I think just taking the call, but we have already started that. We have an initiative now looking into Sweden together with Kindred and other operators as well, to see how it can be more transparent on certain key information, which is really important to build trust. So I think transparency on top of what we do with the product, the services that we provide, the tools that we provide, the research we work with. Transparency, I think, is a really important key to get more transparent on the issues that we have. Talk about them, show what we are doing, that we show progress. This is an important part, and it's not so complicated. We're sitting here today, lift the phone, take a call, and see what can we do together in the sector, in the industry, actually to build even more protective tools to the customers.
Transparency, again. Betsson and Pontus.
Yeah, transparency, important, figures and collaborating within the industry. I think it's a lot easier for us to collaborate than it is to collaborate with the politicians. And what we see today is that a big part of, as an example, the Swedish gaming customers, they play with other operators abroad where there is no transparency. And so I think we could get a really good advancement if we could talk to the regulators and advise them on how to bring those players back under control. That's something that we really want to work for at Betsson.
I will ask them. I will ask them later on.
You should ask them if they sleep well at night when they have sent away the customers that needs the most protection to unregulated operators.
That's a tricky one. Henrik, do you want to add something?
No, absolutely. Transparency, as we said, going out with our share of revenues from harmful gambling has been a big catalyst for us, and really seeing the value of doing that. And I think also going over and above, and we have to clean in front of our own door first before we can sort of really take the next step. And that's for us in industry, through our trade bodies and everything, taking that responsibility and showing that we mean business with this, and it's not just lip service, that is actually actions coming out of this as well. But of course, as Pontus is saying as well, it requires a fundamental aspect is that we have as high channelization as possible in the regulated system, and you can only achieve that with a transparent and clear regulation that is not changing as the days goes by, in a sense, and that's a absolute fundament for sustainability in the long term.
I mean, you all are very, you listen to trends and you study a lot of things, I think, to do the best you can from your perspective. So let's guess, if we meet again in 3 or 5 years, what will the difference be? What will the difference be from today? I see Johan and Esben, they're really frowning over there. So who wants to take this one first? What can we expect from the business in 3 or 5 years? Where are we? Are we still discussing the same things in a couple of years?
I think we've come a long way from where we are. As we said here today, when we look at it, we can sort of be moaning a bit that we're not getting progress enough, but I think we're really starting to see momentum picking up, and I would expect that to accelerate also, as we talked about last year with AI and data processing capabilities and everything, that we can keep the momentum and really make sure that we have common definition, everyone is transparent, and we work in the same direction. And if we can really get everyone behind the same sort of line of thinking, then we can see really good improvement, and I think we can really make good progress. And as we said already last year, we strongly believe that we are part of the solution, and by working with the new technologies and cooperation across the different stakeholders, we can eradicate what is seen as problem gambling today.
I'll get to you, Patrik, but I want to ask you, Pontus, in 3 or 5 years, then the regulators sleep well at night.
Yeah, I hope so. So I was about to say, I hope standardized KPIs, that's really important, so that we all share our figures on the same basis. And then I actually hope, and I kind of believe, that politicians has come to the conclusion that we need to bring back those players that ended up abroad, into regulation again. And then we will sit here in 5 years' time and look very happy.
You'll be the last one, Patrik. I will ask the gentleman on link as well. In 3 or 5 years, where are we then, and where are you from your perspective in this context? Johan?
I mean, I'm an optimistic guy, right? So my hope is that we have solved these issues, and we don't need to talk about it too much by then, and that we can really focus on what's this business all about? Entertainment, the fun stuff. That's my positive view of it.
And Esben?
Yeah, I can second to that, and hopefully we have each other on speed dial, and hopefully we have the regulators on speed dial as well. Across Europe, I think if you take a perspective 5-10 years back in time when the markets opened, maybe I don't believe the regulators really knew what they were doing and all the mechanics of it, and for some markets more restrictive measures were introduced, and it didn't always have the intended effect in terms of channelization is brought up here as well. I think we've learned and matured, and I truly hope that across markets we'll have dialogue between us, but also between us and the regulators. It's really regulatory stability we're after more than anything to ensure we have the right protection of players.
Thank you, Esben. And finally, Patrik, on this one. In 3 or 5 years, where is Svenska Spel then?
Yeah, I would take an industry perspective rather than Svenska Spel only, because I think that's more important. But number one, I think we have much less people getting into harmful gambling. Today in Sweden, it's around 2% of the population that has a problematic relation to gambling. That should be much lower, close to zero. And I think that we share together, we work together as an industry with all the competence and knowledge that we have experienced during the years, that we share them so we can utilize and build tools to protect the customers from harmful gambling. So when the next time, in 5 years, when we sit here, we talk about the enjoyment, the entertainment of the part of the sector, rather than the harm that is the other side of the coin here for our industry. So I really hope that the whole sector, the whole industry takes this responsibility and work together. This is a key part. And transparency, of course, is an important part, common KPIs, etc. But there are a lot to do. But I think we have a good start now. And I think it starts with us.
Definitely. Yes. And you also have questions here from the audience to the panel. Here comes one. While cooperation and alignment are important for certain areas, wouldn't competition also be valuable in driving increased innovation and investment? Short answers to this one. Who wants to answer this?
Competition is always good, and it drives innovation, absolutely.
Thank you.
And we should compete with the product and services.
Yes.
Not with the other area now to protect the customers.
Any addition to this?
No, I fully agree.
Next one. Oh, the guys on link, do you have any comments on that one? Competition, is that good?
I think it's great.
Good, I agree. It's always good. The second question is, the online gambling industry being a part of the born global digital economy, how far would you say it has come in terms of operating and understanding locally regulated markets from 0 to 10, Pontus?
5, I think we're pretty early in the locally regulated markets area. So I think 5 years down the line we will know a lot more and be closer to 10, but we will not be at 10 in 5 years either.
Comments on that one? You agree?
Yeah, no, I think we're making good progress, and I think that's especially for us as operators who've been working in this environment now for the last 10 years, we have learned a lot, and we have a lot of wealth to bring to the table when it comes to, as we talked about with politicians and regulators as well. And that's our duty to bring that forward and really contribute with that, again, in a transparent manner.
Before I leave you, gentlemen, I need you to be with me when we put the last, for the panel at least, poll question. And I gave you a hint before that the question would be, do you believe that the gambling operators are attentive to the consumer's need regarding protection? And I know that some of you have already answered that, and I think also we will have results very soon. Wondering what the results can be. Any guesses? You don't dare to guess.
No, but it should be.
No?
It depends on who's answering the poll.
Yes, and we know approximately
60% operators.
Okay, so let's see the results. Do you believe that the gambling operators are attentive to the consumer's needs regarding protection? And the majority is. And I always think that the percentage who shows don't know is very interesting. Very interesting. Any comments, Pontus?
Of course, we need to be in this yes space as an industry, otherwise we will disappear. So it's natural.
And how come there are 25% who definitely don't think that you are attentive?
There's been a lot of but there's been so many myths and misconceptions in this area as well, and I think that was one of the main things behind us coming out with our share of revenue from harmful gambling. That is only 4%, and I think there's been so much sort of speculation around that it could be even 50 or 75%. But it is, as Patrik said, we're about 2% of the customers contributing with 4% of the revenues, and that's the facts. And when transparent data like that comes out, then hopefully that 25% will come down a bit as well over time.
Any other comments?
No, but I think this is a good view, and if there were not operators involved here, the general population, then it would be probably more on the no side, because this is the issue with the reputation of our industry. So we need to be acting more, show more. For example, if the regulator says this is the bar that we need to do in order to be compliant with the law, we need to set the bar higher and show them that we are making difference here. We are a part of building the society here. And this is important part. This is also leadership from our side, that we show that we are really into this, we show full commitment, that we actually want to protect our customers. Then the no's will be less.
Pontus, finally.
Yeah, I don't know what to add, but I think we are on a good path. To me, it's so clear that as an industry we need to be sustainable, we need to take responsibility, because otherwise we will not exist. And that's the same for every industry. So you shouldn't doubt that at all.
Thank you very much, Patrik, Pontus, Esben and Johan, and Henrik, you'll be back soon again. Thank you for now and good luck to you all in your achievements, and let's hope for the best for next time. Thank you very much.